I think that the criminals are rational decision makers in doing criminal activity because they tend to make some strategies and plans before they commit the criminal activity. The criminal decision made by WH question like what, where, when, and whom to target. What, like what kind of criminal activity they wanted to commit, where is the place of the crime they wanted to commit, when is the time of the crime they wanted to commit, and lastly, whom is the target of the crime. Yes, because if the crime is just a minor, like they will get beaten for vandalizing, people will fear to commit criminal activity if the people will be scared of the punishment for their crimes. I think this kind of policy, like televising execution, will be good for the people because it will lower the crime rate because of the fear they would feel if they put their shoes on the ones who will be executed. We should educate our children to prevent triggering their inherited criminal traits. We should teach the children how to behave properly and always do the right thing for the greater good. Excessive food like sugar is not good for the children. So if I were them, I would forbid them to eat heavy sugar because it is not good for their health and it might trigger them to do some things they would regret later on. Yes, I think kids should be forbidden to watch TV shows that is not proper to their age because they might adopt it and they might copy it in the future like killing, beating, and cursing to someone. Yes, lower class culture exists. I believe that poor people are more likely to commit a crime, but not all of them, because some of them commit a crime because of personal factors like the need of money to support their family and to support their personal needs because they don't have a choice. Like they didn't finish school because of lack of money. Yes, internet has a big impact on our culture and socialization because we tend to know the differences of people and we tend to accept or adopt it to create a homogeneous society. The structuring theories pointing a lot on lower class and they're pointing the middle class people has a lower possibility to commit a crime because most of them are professionals like they are teachers, police officers, employers, etc. In my opinion, I think both. The labels can cause of crime because if that people think that he or she are labeled as criminal, he or she would tend to accept it and they would lock themselves into lives of crime and deviance. And if they commit a crime, that would also be a result that the people would label them as criminals. It is in Hirsch's control theory that would attach a person to make a bond on the society because in Hirsch's control theory, if a person's bond to a society, It would prevent him or her from violating societal rules. I think of a ways which will prevent my peers and siblings to have an antisocial behavior by teaching them that there will be the punishments they need to conquer if they commit criminal activity. That way they would fear the consequences of their actions. When I was a kid, I would steal some money from my dad's wallet to buy some stuff, and I felt really guilty after I committed the crime, and I regretted it until now. Most conservative people would respond to calls for more restorative justice by arguing that a more punitive approach is needed. They would make these arguments for at least three reasons: the reason of justice, incapacitation, and social cohesion. Yes, conflict is inevitable in every society or culture. This does not mean that conflict always has to be at high levels, but it is not possible to have a society without conflict. The major reason of this is that people in a culture or society will inevitable by divide themselves into groups, and this group will eventually come into conflict. No, religious conflict has not replaced by class conflict as the most important conflict in most modern societies. In the present trend, both religious conflict and class conflicts are prevalent. Religious conflicts occur due to excess faith of one person in one religion. The person tries to change other person's religion to his religion. Hence, the conflict occurs between the people as a result of trying to convert a person to another religion. Yes, because according to latent theory, their underlying condition present at birth or soon after controls behavior. That's why it makes a person crime prone, because it is in his or her veins from the start, and he or she cannot control it. For me, people change depends on what is your perception in life is. If you want to change, then you'll change. It will always be on your own decision, not by other people's decision and not by what society tells you. I'm Vallery Agustin, and this is my assignment for Theories of Crime Causation.